build your life on purpose, not people or possessions. Build your life on purpose, not people or possessions, is a lesson I had to learn the hard way. There was a time when I tied my happiness to things outside of me, to people, to outcomes, to moments I believed would finally make everything feel complete. If this relationship works, I will be happy. If I achieve this, I will feel fulfilled. If I get this thing, I will feel secure. And sometimes, for a moment, I did, but it never lasted. Because anything that lives outside of you can shift, change, or disappear. And when your happiness is tied to something that is not stable, your sense of peace becomes unstable too. External attachments create internal instability. It is natural to care about people, to value experiences, to enjoy the things we work hard for. But when we attach our identity and happiness to them, we give away our center. People change, circumstances shift, possessions lose their meaning, achievements fade into the next goal. And when those things are what we rely on to feel whole, we are constantly adjusting, constantly chasing, constantly trying to hold on to something that was never meant to define us. That is not peace. That is pressure. I had to redefine what fulfillment meant. There were moments in my life when I truly believed that happiness would arrive once everything lined up, once the relationship was right, once the career felt secure, once life looked the way I imagined it should. But what I learned is that fulfillment is not something you arrive at. It is something you build. And what you build on matters. When I began to shift my focus away from external validation and toward internal direction, everything started to feel different. Not easier, but steadier. Goals give you direction without taking your power. Goals are different from attachments. A goal is something you move toward. It gives you purpose, direction, and momentum, but it does not define your worth. It does not control your identity. And most importantly, it stays with you even when everything else changes. When you tie your life to goals, you're grounding yourself in growth rather than circumstance. You're choosing progress over dependency. And that is where real empowerment begins. People should be part of your life, not the center of it. This does not mean you stop valuing friendships. It means you stop building your identity around them. Healthy relationships enhance your life. They support you. They grow with you. They add to your experience, but they are not meant to carry the weight of your happiness. When someone becomes the center of your world, you risk losing yourself in the process. And when that relationship shifts, as all things do, it can feel like everything is falling apart. Keeping yourself at the center changes that. Possessions do not create lasting fulfillment. We are often told that success looks like what we have: the house, the car, the lifestyle. And while there is nothing wrong with enjoying those things, they are not designed to create lasting happiness. Possessions can enhance your experience, but they cannot replace purpose. And without purpose, even the most beautiful things can feel empty over time. Purpose creates stability. When your life is tied to goals that reflect who you are becoming, your sense of self becomes more grounded. You are no longer waiting for something or someone to complete you. You are actively participating in your own growth. That creates stability. Because even when circumstances change, your direction remains. You still know who you are. You still know where you're going. You carry your fulfillment with you. One of the most freeing realizations is this: you do not have to wait for the right person, the right moment, or the right situation to feel fulfilled. You can create that within yourself through your goals, through your growth, through the choices you make every day. When your life is tied to something internal, something you are actively building, fulfillment becomes something you carry with you, not something you chase. Build a life that cannot be taken from you. People will come and go. Circumstances will change. Things will be gained and lost. That is a part of life. But when your sense of purpose is rooted in your goals, your growth, and your direction, you create something that cannot be taken from you. A life that is not dependent on external conditions. A life that is built from the inside out. And that is where true happiness lives. Slay reflection. S. See the attachment. Where in your life are you tying your happiness to a person, outcome, or possession? L. Look at the impact. How does that attachment affect your sense of stability and peace? A. Align with purpose. What goal could you focus on that reflects your growth and values? Why? Your next step. What is one small step you can take today toward building a life rooted in purpose? Call to action. Join the conversation. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried to shift your focus from external validation to internal goals? And what changed for you? Share your story in the comments. Let's cheer each other on. And if you know someone who might need this reminder, send this to them. Sometimes all we need is a nudge. I'm Carrie Genzel, reading a blog from stateofslay.com. Slay on.